Hey, it is a Lynn video, the first one of these. So this is a project I started. I was planning on doing a video of once I experimented with it, but I figured I'm going to finish the experimented pieces because I started this a while ago on stream, or not on stream, on video, just so you guys can see the process. And then I'll do a full breakdown video of how I did it later on if I like the process. So basically, I took cardboard, just corrugated cardboard, cut pieces out, glue them together. So I have to have like rocky and forested terrain for Don't Look Back. You know, it's going to be a game that I'm playing through most of the stuff for on video. So I'm going to use these. They're kind of a heavier brush because I'm doing broad areas and we're just doing a couple basic colors. These aren't going to be super high detailed, but what we're going to do, if we see where I did it or how I cut them out and stuff, we're going to paint these up. We're using Quicksand Brown, like the Green Stuff World Quicksand Brown, Green Stuff World Redwood Brown. I really like this. I've been using this for skin tone a lot, or for skin tones. Green Stuff World Forest Green and EV. Wow, I can't remember. I want to say this is the Vallejo. I'm pretty sure this is Vallejo. I am really bad with remembering the brand names that I'm using, which is the Gris Somber. Or Somber Gray. I swear. It's either Vallejo or Army Painter. I'm pretty sure it's Vallejo. Yeah, it's Vallejo. It's Vallejo. And then just for some detail, we got some liquid talent. I mean, some known oil that we're going to put on to darken areas of the rocks. So I only used cardboard white glue, put something heavy on the cardboard to keep it down. And then this has been primed in Army Painter black, the black for Army Painter primer. But yeah, this is going to be a river, or not river, lake. We have a river off camera. I don't know if I'm doing that on camera because that's a big piece, and I want to keep this somewhat below 2 hours, hopefully. But yeah, so we got these like different stony pieces and stuff. We'll be using browns and greens and stuff to do. We also have some flocking. It is tree powder model green, new. I got off Amazon. Some AK water swamp green, and I probably won't film this because this will have to be off video because this will have to be tomorrow. The water gels effects, this makes like waves, and like to show you this. This one gets, the lid dries on. Unfortunately, it's so hard to get the lid off, but it looks like that on inside, and it stinks like heck. Like it stinks. And then of course just white glue. Just some Craft Bond white glue. Hopefully, yeah, it's good. It's still good. And then we got these model trees. They're a little small, but they're going to work for what we need. We're going to like stick those in and onto the pieces at the end. Is the goal. I guess where we should start, because the gray. Let's start from the top to the bottom. So usually I use a cheese box, like, you know, the thing that cheese wheels come in for an easel. That's all three of mine are covered in models upstairs in my living space. So we're going to just use a piece of cardboard for our palette. Yeah, good thing came out. I'm going to get a nice big amount there though. And we're going to use some water, thinned out. This is probably the worst idea I've had for a palette, but you know, we'll see how it works. I'm surprised I just don't go straight on the table with this. So I'm not even going to worry about like not getting it overlapping with the gray, because what I'm going to use is I'll use a lighter brush on the lower parts just to have it act out as a shader, like the gray as a shader. And I know this isn't going to look perfect at all, but I'm going to have fun with it at least, you know? The paint is going to be quick just because we're doing like large, wide areas. And I'm painting down here. All right, so why I'm painting down here is because the water gel is semi-transparent. I didn't grab the thing to put it on with, but we will do that in a second. But yeah, we're going to do that with all the pieces. So this is just going to be brown and green. Like all the pieces have the rocks. We'll just slap on some gray. That's why I want to do the gray first, because I want to get like some gray detail around it so I can get like a rocky look to them. Oops, almost put in the water and not the paint. I will do this gray area. This will be like a nice big rocky outcrop. See, just like that. And we will grab the river. We'll do the river too. You try not to get too much into the camera. So this is the river piece. You can tell I went ham on this. I'm going to actually make different like end pieces for this. To have it like I'm going to have like different end pieces I can swap out for different terrain. Like I'm going to have some of them being whatchamacallit, some of them being, wow, words are leaving me today. I'm going to have it some like a couple curved pieces that fit on either end, going either direction. I'm going to have a mouth of the river, like, and one opening up to a bay. So the river can be used in multiple ways. But yeah, we're going to get a nice riverbed with this. And brown would be next. Green's going to be the last we do. So the reason I'm doing the green the last is because that's going to cover the areas. And because I'm doing this on video, I'm just going to rely on it being fast drying. So if it smears, it smears. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm getting like these upward gray areas that are supposed to be rocks. Because this is heavy rocky terrain. And if this works, I'm going to do those mouths of rivers, show you the process I did for these, or the river connectors, show you the process. So there we go. We got our gray on. Well, let's put a little more gray on here. I got a lot of gray on there, so we'll put a little more gray in here. We're putting a lot of brown down the river. You'll see what we're doing. It doesn't look perfect yet. It's not going to look perfect because I'm making this out of cardboard. But, you know, you see how we're doing it. I should have swapped water out earlier because I forgot I was using a heavier brush. So this has water. I was painting Don't Look Back models actually. I forgot off. Let's just try a brush. I was painting Don't Look Back models. So like my water is a mess. Because I was doing the darker skin tones and I got all over my hand. Like I was doing darker skin tones today. I'm going to be doing like the rest of the clothing on the heroes. Because I want to start filming Don't Look Back. If you've not seen the game, it is a really cool, horror. I don't want to say it's a horror miniature game, a miniature horror game, where you basically are in this place called Northwood, which is haunted by a bunch of bad events. Like it's basically the thing clogged. And I don't have my thing to poke it out here. Uh-oh. I guess that's how much brown or the redwood brown we're using. Usually I have this thing I use to pierce. Oh, I have one in here, don't I? No, I do not. We are without anything to pierce the lid, so this is going to be interesting. I put a little too much water. It will work with it. So this, you can see this is a nice reddish brown. I love using this for skin tone. Like I love a nice reddish brown for skin tone. And I'll use it for like darker, like darker skin, and then like using I'll use other tones to change it up, like as a dry brush before putting the sorry guys, it's been a long day. Before putting the known oil on. It's just my process for making faces. Maybe one day I'll show you guys how I do that. But like, I prefer to paint darker skin tones than I do lighter ones. Cause I don't know, I just think the darker skin tones, A, look better on models, and B, come out better. So we're just going to do that. You'll see my thought process with the rocks and stuff here in a little bit. And we'll wait on this one because this one was older. So I want to go like this so we can give this some depth. We'll probably take the darker or the lighter brown in there too, and highlight the edges. Because I've never worked with a water effect. This is going to be my first attempt, other than the experimenting phase of the water effect. And I know this isn't going to look super perfect. This is just going to be passable for the game. But I figured that this would be a fun little process to try. I want some dirt here. It's just some dry brush here, because we are going to use a lot of green on this one. Like, this is kind of an experiment for me, basically, because I'm working with flat surfaces, which, you know, I'm not used to. I have nothing to like dry brush the textures on or anything. So I'm not used to doing this. So we're kind of just seeing how it works for me. It's going to be fun. Plus, also, I've never worked with water effect or water effect paint, so that's going to be fun too. See a little bit brown on the rock. This rock's going to be dirty. And then we'll dry brush some green on. And then the major one, because this one I have to use the brown on, or the dark brown on. So I want this bar here to be dark brown. This is for a nice forested area within the Northwoods. Because we got the water section like expansion. Sorry if I'm having trouble with words today. We got the water expansion, but I can't afford the ship. The expansion is designed to be built around the SS Auckland, but it's a $400 terrain piece. I can't afford that. So what we're doing here is we're building up some watery terrain. So when I use the sea monster or whatnot, I could just use like a lake or a river or whatnot. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. This is really just an experiment. And something for me to play with, you know. And that's the important thing. As long as you're happy with how it turns out, that's on what you paint, that's all that's important. You know? As long as you're happy. Unless you're going to like a golden demon competition or stuff, you know, it's more important that you like what you do. There we go. So that's a river so far. And I don't know how much color is going to be taken away with the swamp green. So that's going to be a fun experiment. One of the reasons I'm only doing four colors is space. Too. Because if you look, my palette's already running out of space. I got a little bit on the brush still. So yeah. I guess it doesn't matter, because I am blending them. So let's let the things dry a little bit as we just talk. So yeah. So this whole idea was I was going to make these like cool rocky areas that are just cardboard and like kind of have like a weird topography map feel, because I don't have rocky areas. I don't have forested areas. I have 6 trees from Games Workshop from like Age of Sigmar. So like, I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I want to make some that I can just use in these water effects and then like have it be some modular pieces. So I partially also made them for my game, Rust Belt, but Rust Belt uses a 2x2 board, where Don't Look Back uses a 3x3. That's why this is actually sat at 2 feet. That's why this is sat at 2 feet. So what's going to happen is it'll be 6 inches here, 6 inches here. So this can span the whole board. I thought that would be a fun way to do it, like especially doing, like you're doing these wooded areas and stuff. Now we're ready for the green. Uh-oh. So this is what I was talking about. I'm going to see if I have something here I can do this with. I will be right back. Let's see if this fixes it. Nope. Hold on. Did this? The thing I usually use is in the house. That's why I'm not like running out to get it or get it. Because the house is going to be a little too far to go to. I think I got it this time. I used a symbol or like a icon of Slanesh to do it. You know what? I'm just bringing the icon over here. Professional. So all right, I have this like bit here, and I was able to get in there enough to clear it out. But then it didn't get far enough to clear out even further. Come on. That's the one thing I don't like about the Green Stuff World bottles. They clog up. Let me see if if I got like a bobby pin. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta run up and get the piece. So this video is going to be broken up into 2 parts. I'm going to put it together. 1 second.
So Lynn got up to grab a brush or a sticky thing to open up paint. She will be right back.
Okay, we are back. Future me is going to have to cut that, or not cut that, like edit that, because I stopped the video so I could just get the thing. So this is what I'm talking about. It's just like a detailer, but it helps open these bottles, because that's the one issue I have with the Green Stuff World paints, is when you close them, they'll get clogged up in there and just have to take something spiky and put it in, but it has to be long enough. So now we got a nice big thing of green. I thinned it too much. Let's get a little more in there. There we go. That should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. It's a thinner brush. Yeah, we're going starting on this. I want more thin. See, I want this to be almost a dry brush. Not quite a dry brush, but almost. There we go. So I want our dirt colors to actually come off as dirt. And if we get over on the rocks a little bit, that's fine. Because like we're just trying to get a splash of colors together. There we go. Kind of see, because like I said, this is like a forested area, state park kind of thing in the New England area, you know. I think it's New England where it takes place, but like Northwoods is like, I'm just thinking it's near Salem because they mentioned Salem in it, but like when you're making a game like that, how do you not mention Salem? When it's like spooky areas and stuff and like weird going on. Talk about Don't Look Back. I mean, like, because that's the main reason I'm making this is for that game, you know. And that's the one thing. When I got into the game, or when I started getting into indie games, I had so much terrain for grim, dark, post-apocalyptic, and stuff like that. I didn't have anything for modern. You know, and I have a lot of horror games now that I want to play that is modern setting. So like when I started working on putting models together and stuff, like I didn't have much post-apocalyptic either. It was mostly grimdark. If you have ever seen it, grimdark doesn't work with every post-apocalyptic. It's too old school gothic, you know, like the churchy kind of skulls and crosses and stuff, and like so like when you're doing like a factory or whatnot, you know, you got the like weird gothic details of the skulls and the religious iconography and stuff, and it didn't work for like Fallout. It didn't work for heck. It didn't even work for my game. So like I've been slowly getting terrain I can use. For that, 3D printer has helped. I would highly suggest if you're getting into indie games, get a 3D printer, because Thingamajig, or whatever it's called, the website, is a great website resource to get terrain. You know, we are putting some moss on this. That's why I'm not too worried about overlapping it. It almost covered all the ground, but like we are going to put some the flocking on there. And then this piece. This is going to be the biggest for the green. I think it's turning out nice. It feels nice not having to be super precise too. To be completely honest, I like the fact that I can like just go over, have a splash of green like right there. I will have gone back, repainted that before, but like because of what the project is, that just works. It's just natural. Blends of colors, fine. And the fact that I'm doing it very like wooded area, like it's okay to have that like green just go through. As long as it just doesn't look like paint strokes. Well, let's actually dry brush there. Let's give it a little green hill there. We'll put some trees on that one. Well, it feels cool to be able to just like paint it, you know, like not precise, not finite, but like just run the paint over it and like see how naturally flows, because like, man, it's exciting to not have to paint the lines. But yeah, so like terrain availability gets interesting because like when you look into it, like if you're just coming from GW stuff, you have a bunch of GW terrain, like specifically GW bought terrain, because I bought a lot of the boxes and stuff for Kill, or not Kill Team, well yeah, for Kill Team, but also for Warcry. And so like when I was making the switch to playing more indie games, at first I thought those pieces of terrain would come out fine for that. But then like I'm starting to see it's like the details, it's like no. Because here I am, I'm expecting a weird, was it a tree growing out of a skeleton, like a giant bone monster, and it's like this doesn't fit this. Now with like some games is fine, like I can use my Warcry terrain for Frostgrave, but I can't use it for like Don't Look Back or like Last Days or any of those, you know, because like those are just real life terrain. Heck, I couldn't even use it for some of them for Fallout because like you know they're too medieval, too medieval fantasy, too like weird sci-fi science fantasy. So that's why I came to the idea of like, well, let me try different ways to do stuff. At first it was, you know, it's a 3D printer. We got a lot of 3D printed terrain we were using. And I was lucky, I got a bunch of it on the Black Site Studios summer sale a few years back, like a bunch of their STLs. And there's still some I want to do. Like there's a like Russian bunker system that I want to do. It's set in a sewer, or there's got like a space station or a spaceship interior, which I want to do. Both of those require so much time and filament or resin, whichever, you know. But or all three of those. But then I got like trailers, like trailer park trailers. I got brownstone, a corner store, that kind of stuff. And it was so cool because then, or it was so cool because all of a sudden I had terrain I could use. Now I got my first MDF terrain. Here, I'll get really quick to show you guys. I'm sorry if this is super random of a video. I hope you guys are enjoying this, but give me 1 second. I got this during Christmas. This was only like $20 off of Amazon, but like this is my first MDF terrain, and like I am sold on MDF. I like MDF. I'm not painting this up. This company doesn't do the painted. They're just it's like they just draw the lines on and whatnot. And then show you what I mean. This was a black site print, but because I didn't, it's supposed to be a resin printer. I didn't have a filament printer, so I got all this crap on there. But it works. I've used it. It works. You know, I like it. But that was all stuff I had to cultivate over time because, you know, I didn't have stuff like that. But with this was specifically to cover a very specific need. I'm not going to use this paint today or that one. I think we got what we wanted. We're just going to put a little bit of known oil on it now, just to give it some more detail. Now known oil you wouldn't usually use on a flat surface, but what I'm doing is just like giving it kind of a wet feel. So like it should work fine. Because usually this is just used to like fill in gaps and details and stuff. I'm just using it to kind of shade a little bit, like give some natural shade to the rocks and whatnot. Because it's not going to really show the details, just I'm just using it to darken. Because usually this will go into the recess, darken the recesses, and like, there, you got yourself your shading. Well, now, we're talking about like rocks and grass on a flat surface. As flat as it gets. So this has nothing to go into. I mean, this could actually act as a detriment for me, but I liked it. I wanted to give it that kind of darker tone than what my paints could give. And I know I'm just kind of like lazily running it along, but that's fine. Because we're not done yet after this. This is just the colors. Oops, we need another brush full. That's how I do normal oil. Don't judge. It works for me. But yeah, this is going to give like some depth to the interior of the water though. See? Just kind of an idea of how it will work. And when that dries, it'll just give some like randomized texture to it. And I think the main thing I'm going to focus on the river is the interior of the river. And I said, I don't know how much the water effect's going to cover inside of it, just to let you know. But I wanted to get some known oil on there first. Now, some people suggested using water, like mixing my water effect with actual water. I might, but we're not going to do much known oil on this now. There we go. So the known oil is done. But yeah, some people were saying, hey, when I was first learning about the water effects, they're like, hey, use some water, mix it in, or some solution, mix it in, so like it gets a more balancing. But then someone broke it down. It's like, yeah, it doesn't make too much of a difference. It makes a little bit, but not too much. But that's not what we're doing next, though. We're doing white glue and this. So these red brushes, I don't use much. I'm worried I'm going to actually wreck this one. I haven't even used this one. But I'm going to brush on, and I'm not mixing it with, I wanted to mix it with water and Hodgepodge, but I'm not doing it this time. As I said, this is experiments. We are going to put our white glue. Debating if I want the white glue like paint. Yeah, let's try this. And say I got Hodgepodge for this too, but so what we're going to do, we're going to put the glue on the edges, just kind of haphazardly, like really brush it on. Now I've seen people, like I said, mix Hodgepodge and water. We're going to do that solution at a different time. Try that solution. So I've seen people do that. There's Hodgepodge, water, and PVA glue like this. And they will, well, I haven't even opened this yet. Cool. And they will go on top of it and like, oh, this was not the kind of flocky I thought it was going to be. That is a lot more solid. I think I need more glue. But they'll use the PVA and they will the PVA glue and like the Hodgepodge and stuff. They'll mix it in to where they can squirt out on a bottle and do this. And like that probably would be a better answer, to be completely honest. But this is my first time trying this. And I'm making a mess. Okay. I don't like brushing on. We're going to not brush on this time. We're going to just put it right on there. This brushing on's not working. We're going to put it right on. Here we go. Sticking. Not all of that's going to dry on, but you know, we'll clean a mess later. So I can see where the spray would come in handy now, because I could use the spray mixture to, you know, yeah, we will use a brush. It's probably destroy this brush, but I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if I did. I was not prepared. But no, so like they'll do the spray mixture, right? And spray it on all the way across. It's easier than what I'm doing. Because right now all I'm doing is making a mess. Really. Let's be completely honest, I'm just making a mess. But as I said, this is an experiment video. I didn't know how I was going to do this. I didn't know exactly how. So we're trying a couple techniques and see how they work. I should really clean this brush out. Sorry, it's bothering me that I got the brush that dirty. More glue there. This is the reason I didn't think I needed to worry too much about the paint, because I knew I was going to pull off flocking on. And there's probably a couple of you out there who are just really cringing at how I'm doing this, really foaming, but you know what? I'm having fun. As I said, that's all that's important. All that's important is if it's usable for me. It looks good to me. Not if it looks good to you, not if it looks good to your buddy. I'm not trying to make the ultimate wargaming table. I'm just trying to be able to play the game with terrain. Like, I'm someone who will use 2D terrain. I'm someone who will use Lego terrain. I'm someone who will use, you know, I've used boxes. Now there we go. It actually looks kind of cool. We'll set this to the side, let this one dry. This is making a mess! Mess! This one, no, I'm cleaning this brush, it's driving me nuts. This probably won't even clean it, but see, I get my hands dirty when I do this, because I actually rinse my brush out on my hands. And we can touch it up later too. I know you should put a plate down or something there, or underneath, so you can clean it up easier and just reuse the flocking. I didn't think of that because this video is a spur of the moment. I got the idea a few weeks ago to do this and to do a video of this so I could finish this. And today I was just feeling good enough to, or not enough pain to be able to like say, hey, I'm going to make this video finally. We're going to get this done. Because this is something I've been wanting to put together before I do Don't Look Back. And I want to at least by next week start recording Don't Look Back. So this was spur of the moment. I had a Lego video I was recording. And I was like, oh, I want to record, and so I was like, oh, why don't I also do the terrain video, like a Craftlin video while I'm at it. I'm out there. I can't do the cooking video tonight because it's too late. I don't have the energy to. Or the brain, because of some stuff going on at home. But craft video, I could just do like the Lego Lynn videos. I'm going to put a lot of flocking on this one. I've had this stuff for a while. I think I was planning on doing a video originally for this, but I was trying to figure out, I wanted to like experiment with it, learn how to do it myself, not make myself look like an idiot on camera like I'm doing today. But putting a nice thick bush there. 'Cause why not? You know, why not? I don't have a lot of plans for this flocking. You know, if I have to get more, this is like $10 when I got it. I got this, believe it or not, I got this back in the winter. Got a lot of the stuff in the winter, and when it started getting warm, I was like, oh shoot, I gotta bring some of the stuff inside. So this is something that this is terrain I started like in December. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do this trick. I'm going to try to have these rocks that are covered in moss and grass or whatever, and with trees sticking out. And then I'm going to film it. And like when I start filming it, I'm like, oh, you know, or not start filming. When I start getting ready, it's like, you know, I need to experiment first. That actually looks really cool. I don't know if all of that's going to stay in, but look at it. That looks cool. The flocking is really doing a lot of heavy lifting with this. Now I said I don't know how much of this flocking is actually going to stick and stay. But the idea was like, man, so I'm going to cut off this. I cut it, right? Made these big giant pieces, and well, you see the pieces, or had these plants make these big giant pieces, and like put trees on it so I could fill up a board. But I got working on a rust belt and never got this done in time because I was going to use these to test a 2027 book coming out where it's going to use a lot more like swamp water effects and stuff. But I wanted to test it before, or test my skills before getting there, learn how to make these things. So when I make the table, I'll have a more comprehensive view of how to make that kind of table. But, you know, time and space works differently than you intend. Let's just use some of what's on here. There we go. That's a great thing about this. I can just sweep it up off the table. You know, time and space work differently than you intend. And so, you know, I haven't gone to the 2025 books or 2026 books yet. I'm still working on the 2025 release, which will be the first book as of recording this video. And I took a break, waiting for the beta testers. We're in beta right now. But once things start getting, or once I got some stuff set up in the bunkhouse, I was like, or the cat, what I call the cabin is a bunkhouse. I was like, oh, I'm going to start recording just random videos, like a bunch of stuff I like, you know, as the Lynn's, you know, like there's a whole lore to it that I partially adhere to. See, all right, so VTuber, YouTube lore, how I look at is it's important to have some idea of it, but it's not important to stick to it all the time. You need it to be a mixture of reality and media, in my opinion. I'm not obviously anyone of importance, so my opinion probably doesn't matter. But I love it when it's a mixture. Like you got the characters, but you also got yourself. You know, so like I was like, oh, here's this thing where I can do this in either form. This is going to be so messy. So you remember that hodgepodge mix I was talking about? I think I get why I want to do that. We might actually make that. Oh, but the only water I have here is really expensive water I got from as a gift. I have to put a little bit in. Hold on, let me see if I can make this mixture. Because I'm seeing why I need the mixture. I'll be right back. All right. So what I just did, I have these like spray bottles. I got this specifically for this. This is my drinking water. I love this stuff. I'm not sponsored. I'm taking a sip. But this is the only water I have available to me right now. Oh man, I love this water. My favorite water. So what people are saying, how they're showing me to do this, on the U of tubes, pour some of this in there. Yeah, that's about right. About that. Then a little hodgepodge. Hopefully this hodgepodge is still good because I got this a couple years back. I've been planning these videos for a while. It wasn't even open. But yeah, they said mix in a little bit of this. And see what this is going to do. I should say, I keep on calling it hodgepodge. That's the name brand. This is decoupage. So it's a decoupage thing. And then the rest water. I am going to cry because I'm using my very expensive favorite water. The reason, as I said, someone bought me a case of these. I love them. I can't always find them. Like, I only find single bottles of them. So you mix this. So what this is here is I take this out of the way. And so you see the ones I'm doing here. There we go. I spray it on. And it'll act as an adhesive. So all the loose stuff that's in there will stay in. This was a trick. I saw a few YouTube channels. I can't remember the names. Oops, it's going really thick there. Let me mix it. I can't remember the names of the channels. Like, I know Dice to Devs said it, but like there was another one too. Like, I don't know if Eric's work table said it, but I know Dice to Devs talked about it, I think. And there was another one I was like that talked about it. And I don't remember that one because YouTube's weird. I forget which channels I was watching when YouTube sometimes will unfollow channels that I really like or just not suggest them. And how my brain is, I don't always remember channels names.
The Lynn had recorded a bunch of stuff about like a conversation dealing with the whole aspect of indie games versus like major brands and kind of the impact that indie games have been having on the scene lately. But technical difficulties happened and all that got deleted or not recorded because the camera turned off. But we'll get you back to where she was continuing on.
I am sad. I just filmed 15 minutes of video that wasn't filming. But I saw where I ended. We got these done. I wish I could have shown you the spraying and stuff and all that, but it works. I was having a great conversation with y'all about indie games and being your own advocate for the games and stuff that you want to play. But it wasn't filming. I never saw it stop filming. So there's going to be a break in the period of videos. I'll probably do something like a missing footage clip or stuff. But we will do the big one later. This is going to be a lot more work than I thought. And I don't have the space to kind of just set it. So we'll just put this back up here for right now. Because now we get to put the trees on. The big river piece is going to look great, but I think I'm going to finish that one off camera. Just because I think my phone is having issues. It didn't like filming that long. I've been filming all day, so. These are easy. They just stick in. I thought, oh, the pokey thing. The pokey thing came back. So we'll put the pokey thing in. Maybe that'll work. Did that work? Okay, the trees are going to be harder than I thought. Oh, you know what? I'll be right there. Oh, wait. No, I have pokey sheets. There we go. We'll just put a little. No, that's too much glue. My hands are starting to act up. Sorry, guys. Does that work? Nope. I didn't plan this through. You know what? Maybe I could just shove this in here like that. Nope. All right, I didn't plan this through. Or I didn't have a good plan for this, I should say. We'll just put some more flocking in there so I can show you how I sprayed it. We'll have to figure out how to put the trees on, because I thought it was just going to be just putting the trees on, but no. It seems like these aren't, like if this was like cardboard, not cardboard, if this was a, this was styrofoam, this would work better. Obviously it's not. So it's not working how I thought it would. So we'll skip the trees for now. I'll figure out tree terrain later. Or how to put the trees on. See, I don't know. Let me try again. There we go. It's just not going in. It's a little thicker. So the problem I'm having is this just not going in. I thought the trees were a little sharper on the bottom. I am going to have to pause the video. I will be right back, you guys. I'm going to figure this out. Give me a second.
And it seems like there's another technical difficulty. I am so sorry, but we'll get back to everything right now.
All right, we are back again. I'm sorry for all the breaks in this. I guess it won't be long for you guys. For me, that was like a 10-minute thing. And I checked the videos and like I only lost like 5-10 minutes. So we got here. I got an actual auger here. I'm kind of nervous about. See, like I actually have an auger. It's not deep enough. I'm kind of nervous about using it because, like, you know, I don't want to wreck anything. No, we lost too much. I was just trying to get a little bit off. But let's spray this down again. Looks like I'm going to have to do a few spray downs of this. And we're going to have to definitely let it dry overnight. But I think we could get the trees on and the water effect on right now. But I might have gotten too much water in there. We don't have to put too many trees. See, I'm really nervous about using the auger because I'm nervous about going into the table. So obviously, this isn't going in deep enough for the tree. We're going to scrap the tree idea for right now. I'll figure out a way later to put the trees on. I'm just having too hard of a time with the trees. I might just get some styrofoam and stick them in, paint them up, and put some on, and use these for the rocky terrain. Great man once said, when you're making something, don't tell people what you're making, so when you're done, after you screw up, you can tell them you're making something else. That way they'll never know you made a mistake. Too bad I didn't take that advice. I told you exactly what I was doing. Now, so we'll do the trees later. We'll just try to get this flocking out. The whole reason I'm not doing the flocking yet on the river is because I want to see how this works before I do. Because the river is a big area and it's going to take a lot of the flocking. So like we'll use these for the rocky terrain. It won't be much like line of sight covering. So we'll either have to, hold on 1 second. And of course, I brought my paper towels inside. Oh well, we'll let that dry onto the table, whatever. Fine, it's fine. Doesn't all have to be perfect. No, I'm joking. See, I don't know. Because my goal was to do like this. Like with this here. Actually, now looking, I don't like that. I'm glad it didn't work. I'm glad it didn't work. No. So we'll put these to the side and let these dry because I think these are done. Almost. I think these are done. I'm going to push this out a little bit. I just gotta make sure I get the. We'll let these dry. I'll let you guys know in a few days how this came out. But we're going to do the water effect. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the flocking better than I did it with what I was doing. I don't think I'll be able to get the trees on in a way that's going to make me happy. I think what I'm going to have to do is make bases of the trees, and then I can sit them on top. That's my thought. We'll do a video on that later. I think that video will be a really cool idea. I'll figure out how to do it, and like maybe it'll just be like little stands I put in the trees in, and then we put the stands in, and like that's how we're going to do the trees. That one I can test first because then it'll be like 1 or 2 trees per stand, and like we just set the stands down in like little caps or whatnot, or little bases. And so the trees will be there. And we could just sit them on top of the rocks or whatnot. That's my idea. We'll see how that works, but we're not going to do that yet. We're not doing that this video. That'll be next video, probably. Or next craft video, probably. So the first thing we're going to do, this is my first time actually using this, is we're going to pour this in. We're going to try not to make a mess. We're going to try to get even. This is the swamp water. It's a single, like it's not a double or not a dual epoxy, it's just a single layer that we put in. And it went way thicker than I thought it would. I didn't realize this was going to be like a paste. So I'm using just a ton depressor stick thing here, but I think I'm going to take a brush over it and brush it down. We'll use the same brush we've been using. When I tested this, because I did test this, it came out a clearish color. I'm not sure if it was this one I tested or if it was the white one. And I can't show you the white or the crest effect until this is dry. This is going to take a good 24 hours or so to dry. So we'll get that in there. We'll get how I want it to be in there. My stick so it's not just sticking there. And like, as I said, when I watched their tutorial, and some people mixed it with water. I want a nice swampy effect, so I was okay with doing the thick, chunky. I don't think I tried this with color, and that's where it's going to get interesting because I did not test this with color. There was no color underneath. So I can't tell if it was just the color of the thing, or if it was the of the base, or if it, not the base, the swamp water thing, or if it was the base coming through. That's why we painted below it. If I didn't need to, I didn't need to, whatever. I got that really thick in there. So that's it. This is my first time working with water effect. I didn't realize it was going to be this thick. Like, I just chopped that. So with this video, I'm going to have to cut it here. We'll do a quick spray down. I gotta get a paper towel here to clean everything up. But we'll do another quick spray down on this one, because this one didn't get a really good spray down. So we use it quite a bit. So we're going to cut this video here, because there's not much more I can do with this. But we'll come back in 24 hours, see how that goes. Once I fix this spot here. And it's okay for it to be a little wavy and bold. We'll see how this turns out. Then tomorrow, I'll come back and put this on to give it kind of like a crest feel. So this is what we use tonight, the AK Water Gel Swamp Green. This is our little pond right now. So tomorrow we'll see how it turned out. Until then, I guess it'll be a few seconds for you. It'll be a day for me. And even then, it might be a little longer, but we'll see you then.
Enjoyed the video, and we are planning much more craft videos in the future. The next one will probably be the river or the trees, and then after that, the other, and then we're going to do a final planned one, because we got much more after that, which will be like smoke, fog, and those kind of things. Also in the works, Suda's going to be doing stuff with the cooking Lynn, getting that up and going, and LQ with some gaming stuff, and we got some human stuff for Suda as well. Elise, we still are planning on some stuff for Elise. I got a bunch of surprises for that, and I will be doing stuff for the game, though we'll be using a clear version of my voice. This is my robo voice, and it is intentional, just to let you guys know. But I hope to see you all soon. I'm Remia, and this has been the first of the crafting videos. So if you want to help the channel out, like, subscribe, comment, all those fun things. And also, if you're really interested to help the channel out, our throne is the best way to support the channel. You can find a link in the description below. Thank you all. Y'all have a great day. Bye.